It's been a few days since has it been since Sunday? Yeah, it's been since Sunday since I wasn't able to stream Monday or Tuesday due to babysitting. But we're here now. We're working on some burner designs. I definitely don't think we're gonna be done in a week like I thought we would be, but that makes sense. I missed more weekdays than I expected. I feel like we're pretty close though to like actually finishing the base because I don't. The list here is pretty long. That's what? Why is this here? I feel like I meant to write this in like my meme run master list, and I wrote it here. Was that just a conversational topic? Was I just talking with people about space age and what 100% would do while I was writing the to-do list? And I accidentally wrote 100% space age. I think that might have been what happened. Sometimes if I'm having a conversation and I go to type something, I just type what I'm thinking. I've definitely That definitely tracks, but I think we can mark that one on the list. Okay, so we can't fully do this yet. I mean, we have the general layout. I don't want to put the numbers into the train yet because we don't actually have the design finished per se. Not the outpost design. We have it close, but there's a revision of it that I'm considering that we need to put some work into. I need to see if anyone has actually done it on their own, or because somebody was interested in doing it, but I need to check before I spend time on it. Okay, so we can definitely, honestly, we don't really need to cut these. Yeah, I guess we don't really need to. We need to get coal over here too. Actually, that's kind of problematic. Oh wait, what if I use rocket fuel? It seems a little bit weird, but it's actually easier to get rocket fuel here than it is coal, I think. Okay, there. Well, okay, coal's here. But it is, I mean, it's here, but it's, is it high throughput enough? I guess is the real question. Let's see. Is there a better spot? I would want to steal from it while it's still dense. I could potentially do that. Huh. Okay, I think I see the line. Let's go to the right layer. Darn it. I always switch layers while in map mode. It happens way too often. I mean, it's a really easy mistake to make, so like it's understandable, but it just means I'll go to change something and it just doesn't work. Okay. We'll make this as long as it can go, I think, for now. That would be here, and then we loop down. Okay. So the whole point of that was to replace this with a regular belt, and now we have an underground here. So now we can go to the next layer, and we have access to coal. Now, you might be wondering why we're doing coal, because coal is just, worse in every way. But if we want the inserters to not brick themselves, which is very possible when you have self-feeding inserters on a train, if they can put solid fuel on the train, they can completely lock up, which, as you can imagine, is very bad. Very, very much not recommended. So instead, we have to use coal. So that's just a fuel source that we can use for feeding the inserters that won't get put on the train. And then we will still be putting solid fuel on the train, but it will be with a dedicated inserter. Because otherwise, they can fill up all the coal, and then they can get completely locked up, filling coal, and then we would potentially not have assemblers or not have any belts, stuff like that. Probably unlikely with things like belts. Assemblers would be pretty likely. Chemical plants, anything that's a low volume, I think would be very high risk of getting blocked. Hello, Ruben. Welcome, welcome. Okay, highlight silo resource chest. So we have to manually fill the silo, or we're manually building the silo. So we need to mark the spot. I feel like I should do more than one of these. Also, it's not hard, right? Yeah, it's not hard. Let's not do the bare minimum there. It's literally the cost of 2 assemblers. Just in case our research is a little bit later than we expected. So instead, we'll move this here, here. We'll move this one down. We'll move this one down. Okay. Now this can go straight through. How does this work? This might be risky. None of these aren't technically safe. These don't follow my definition of safe inserter design, which I don't love. Let's fix that. It's an easy fix. Okay, so we get rid of this. We move it to a different spot. So we would split it off here instead. Yeah, this I think this spot's good. This spot's good. Okay, and then I think we can use inserters for this would be fine. Because the throughput is not very high. Yeah, that's perfectly acceptable. And then this one can just go straight down, and we're looping it. We're rotating it so it doesn't interfere. Actually, wait, rotating it makes it less safe. This one's fine because it's not sharing the belt with anything. This one could actually cause problems, so we should do this instead. This is in the wrong spot. Okay, and then should be some entity savings here we can do. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. That one we can't change just because it's going to sideload, but again, not super worried about it. Okay, so just in case only one of them works, this stuff is really cheap and it is incredibly slow. Oh, this is in the wrong spot. And they're incredibly slow, so it's not a huge problem if we overdo this. Howdy, Arters, welcome, welcome. But yeah, now we have a better chance of getting that. So then the next question is, how do I highlight this so I don't forget about it? Is a train station a good idea? Okay. I don't know much about Factorio blueprints. If I wanted to make it that there was a labeled part on the map automatically, is the only way to do that with a train station. Like just having a rail with a train station on it labeled concrete pickup. I'm assuming that I assume that will work. Are there better ways to do it? Like I don't know, like can you label like a siren or a combinator? Or is that my best bet? Because currently my plan is this. You can use a siren. I can, okay. When do I produce sirens, actually? I remember we produced them in a very weird spot. I don't remember where, but they should be automated. If I used a siren, would I just have it yell out that the signal's ready? Is that all there is to it? Sorry, it's not called a siren, is it? What's it called? Speaker. Speaker. I type like every possible word each time. Ooh, I could even do this, right? So once concrete is greater than... Sorry, forgot about the sound. Greater than equal to 10,000 to let us know it's full. Okay, so if we show an alert... Oh, I chose icon. Oh, I see it. Show icon on map. Thank you. Yeah. I was not confident that was real. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Why doesn't it show the text next to it? Is that an option? Oh, that's for when I hover over this. Okay, that's what the text is for. Okay, so that'll blink telling me concrete's ready. Okay, and since it's blinking, that'll actually make it I feel like that'll make it pop. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Perfect. And I do like knowing that it will also tell me when if it's actually ready for pickup. Do these need to be powered? They do, okay. Not inherently a problem. I built that on the wrong layer. Ooh, also, right, also true. Realizing we built these on the wrong layer. always, always a fun thing to do. There we go. Much, much nicer. This connection, I don't think that's one I necessarily have to... Oh, that is one I have to do manually. I chose an unfortunate spot for that. Well, oh wait, no. No, I don't have to do it manually. I have to bring the coal here, or the fuel here, or whatever it is, the copper here, but the bots can do the tricky connection. Okay, so that's one down. Alarms can be later. It's not needed if there's no silo researched. Yeah, that's fair. I just wasn't sure which stage I wanted it on. Because I accidentally built it on, like, literally the last one. And since they're silent, I think it's fine that they blink constantly. Maybe I should add it a little bit later just so it doesn't annoy me. Silo is at least like 4.2, right? Yeah, so we can at least do. Let's at least do it this late. Okay, 4.2. Perfect. And then we're doing the 2 here just in case one of them breaks. I don't trust burner insert. I don't trust burner inserters even with safety measures. Okay, steel. Actually, this isn't going to be powered, but I guess that's fine. We can power it pretty easily. Okay, same concept. Except this time we're doing steel greater than equal to 0. Volume none. Can we just like disable the sound? No, it's just volume. Okay. Show alert greater than equal to 10k, 1k. Close enough. Steel pickup. Awesome. Okay, what else do you need for silo? I need pipes. Realistically, I should probably grab from the pipes that are up here, right? Because I do have pipes. They're just kind of all the way... They're all the way down there. Most likely, I will just have pipes in my inventory at this point. But if I can put them closer, I do want to put them closer. So we'll do this. And this is actually just going to be a regular iron chest. It's literally just one stack, right? I'm pretty sure it's one stack. It's either 1 or 2. Either way, it's not a lot. Let's move those a little bit earlier so they can start producing. Of course, they're dead. Oh wait, no, they're disabled. I think this most of the stages are disabled right now. Okay. Speaker. I feel like I keep typing the word siren, despite knowing very well that is not the name. Greater than equal to 100. Show alert and pipe pickup. Okay, and then engines. Engines are okay. Actually, engines are probably good. Realizing now that I'm probably gonna have trouble finding this. So yeah, there's gonna be a lot of alerts. We'll have to manually disable all of these. Well, not necessarily. Silence? My mic not work? Did I mute myself? No, it seems working. Oh, silence from the alarms, right. This one, I really would just want to scream at me all the time. Honestly, let's not do that. Ooh, what I could do. You know what? Maybe saving this chest isn't worth it. No, no, we can use it. We'll do speaker. Silo. Less than 1. Silence. So alert, silo pickup. The only reason I'm bothering with this, like most of the things I'll be able to find because they're in smart locations, or at least relatively smart locations. This silo in particular was me forgetting I didn't automate the silo in any way, so we're just labeling because they're not in spots that really make that much sense. They're just in spots that happen to be there. Nothing beats anti-speakers elites for everything. Okay, so if he also uses speakers for everything, then that means we must be doing the right thing. Oh, that's how it works, right? I think that's how it works. Okay, and then processing units are interesting because the best place to grab them would be where I'm producing the most of them. But I won't have those early enough, so maybe I should go here instead. Why do I have that as a red chest? Weird. Oh well. Blue chips greater than equal to 200. I like how I said greater than equal to when I limit the chest to only being able to hold 100, but you know, it's fine. Okay, processing units. Blue chip pickup. Okay. Then what else am I missing? There's one more part of the silo. The electric engines. I remember we had some trouble with this one, right? Oh, I remember now. Okay, so these are just going to be buffering really early. Gotcha. Um, yes, because I'm really curious what this is. Is it a is it a clip from like him like just being screamed at by alarms for a billion seconds? Because that would be great. Oh my gosh, it is. Well, I'm guessing that's what it is. How many alarms are going off right now? Oh wait, is this default settings? No, this is 100%. Why is he being attacked? No, this is good. He just has a, he just has a complete breakdown. It's like who knows how many alarms scream at him. Did that kill the run just from his laughter? How many are going on? I hear like 4 different alarms, I feel like. No, that's good. We should do that. No, it was the problems that killed it. Ah, oh, well, okay. That's fair. Can I use this one instead? Oh, because we use this as a lube pass-through. That's why we couldn't put it there. Okay. Can we... What can we attach wires to? There we go. Oh, just disable. There we go. Electric engines. Engines greater than 100. Wait, 200? They can get an... No, no, I didn't think... I didn't mean it in a way like, did the alarms kill the run? I meant it like, could he just not stop laughing for 10 minutes and had to stop playing? Because that would be great. But not like were the problems from the speaker the issue. Yeah, they can get a little bit annoying. I think I made all of these ones silent. This is really literally the only purpose these ones serve right now is to highlight concrete, pipes, steel. Yeah, because I know vaguely where they are. Like concrete, engines, steel is roughly over here. Silo production's roughly over here. Blue chips are also pretty close. So they probably don't need to be highlighted, but it's fine. We ideally would have a layer on the final blueprint that turns off the alarm, but honestly, I'm not that worried about that because it's silent. And I think we can manually turn it off pretty easily. Okay, so highlight silo resource chest. Good. Cut radar to OG train. So what that means is once I started doing, let's see, OG train is this one. So I realized we don't necessarily need radars here, right? Like if I look at my train logic on whatever layer it happens to be on, we don't have radars in here at all because we only need one radar for the outpost, and we have to bring that by hand anyway, or we should be bringing it by hand. Although, does it really hurt anything to bring it? Honestly, it might be worth putting a single radar in the train. I guess it only is helpful to not bring it if we have something else to put in its place, and I don't think we do. Maybe some way to stop buffering items when they get to the needed amount with memory cells. Wasting additional 200 engines in this space can be costly. 200 engines isn't a lot. Like, it's a little bit costly, but it's not the end of the world. Because that's a pretty small percentage of my engine production at that point. I want to say it's about a third. The issue is I don't think we'll be able to start counting the memory cells early enough. Because our circuit stuff is actually our circuit stuff is a little bit too late. We can't really move it earlier either without we could hand build it, a combinator, but that's kind of our only option right now. Yeah, it should be okay. We can always recycle the engines. Yeah, we never planned to make use of combinators that significantly, which just limits our options for using them now. Like since we don't have it planned for earlier, it's just it would be a lot of work to shift it 2 stages earlier since it's pre-trains. It really is cheaper than you thought. Yeah, they're also just not expensive because that's really just equivalent to 200 bots. And I'm only taking, I say it's a third of my production. I'm actually only taking half of a third of my production. So it's like 15% less engines for a little bit. And then I'll probably, I can always recycle them later if I really need it. Oh, speaking of engines, right, we need more bot production. Yikes. Okay. So that's what we need the steel for, right? So we need to produce more bots up here. We have batteries, so that's good. Or we will have batteries. I don't know if we'll have them early enough, but I think we'll have access to them. Yeah, we don't really have enough bots being sent through to our outposts. Now, I could lower my goal. I want to send like 600 to each outpost. If I can only send 300, it's not the end of the world. But I don't know how consistently we can even send 300 right now, which is why I should probably improve it. Especially since bots aren't particularly expensive. I mean, obviously they cost more than being free, but I have circuits, and when you only need like one every 2 seconds, I think. Yeah, I only need one every 2 seconds. The cost of that is pretty low. The assembler machine wise, it's a decent chunk. Wait, is it one every 2 seconds? How much does this produce? Okay, yeah, that would give me enough. I think I need to use speed modules here though. Maybe a speed plus prod. I don't know how much iron we have going in. So yeah, we'll do a speed plus prod. That's always a decent option if I don't know. Yeah, see, 30% more. Only a little bit more iron. Okay. So we need bot production. I guess we can produce them here. We can always shift the train up too. So we have batteries. What else do we need for bots? Electric engines. That is, I will say that's very annoying to do. It's not the worst thing in the world. In fact, we'll probably be better off if I get lube from here. Oh, but this isn't producing lube in a sustainable way. Well, once the fuel stops being consumed, we no longer get lube from this. It might be fine. If we connect all of them together, we'd probably be okay. But it wouldn't be prioed over cracking. Not by default. But yeah, we can either put lube assemblers and connect all of these on the left, or we can try to get the original lube pipe through the base. Honestly, I think they're both pretty similar. These aren't running. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I think we should bring the radar. I feel like I'm gonna forget radars. Less than 1, okay. And then where's the train? The train is here, okay. So we'll do add item count and radar greater than or equal to 1. Perfect. And then we'll do this one. Item count radar equals 0. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have anything else I need to put in the train. That's why I was considering not bringing the radar, but it would be easier for me to just use the slot. Might as well. One less thing to remember. If I really wanted to, I can limit stack size. That would probably be a good idea. Oh, I already did. Excellent. Cool. We thought some things through. That's nice. This is... Oh, this is getting bots. Okay, I saw that I wasn't getting bots from here, and I thought maybe I completely messed that up, but I think we're good. I think we had issues with... I don't know if we had issues with Sushi Belt here, or we have issues with just bot production. Because I wasn't able to run this at the completely full speed. I think that was before I added some fixes, though. Also, why do I have speed mods in here and then... Oh, I know why I have speed mods in here. I wanted to make it that the hit from the silo wasn't significant. Oh, that makes sense. Look at that. Look at me thinking it through. For once. I'll take it. Okay, we don't need that one. Personal Roboport's earlier stage. So that one I think is a lot trickier to do than I thought it would be. So I think we're just going to have to play without personal robots for the first couple trains we connect, which isn't terribly... that's not a huge problem. because we will still be using mouse and keyboard at that point. So I think once we switch to personal roboports, that'll also be when we switch to mouse and keyboard. Because, yeah, we don't have any setup in mind to use regular personal roboports. That might be a problem, but I am definitely, based on how I have this set up, it looks like I just accepted I won't be having roboports or laser turrets or batteries until we have, let's see, the first 3 trains connected. That's not too bad. That's really not that bad to build without roboports. Because really, I'm only building 1 roboport, like 10 chests, a few burner inserters, and a power pole. That's all I really need to be placed by hand. Okay, so yeah, let's just accept that's fine. I like how I have 250 Logibots. That's probably too many, considering their whole purpose is bringing stuff to the player. Although it might also be too few. It's hard to say. I don't think I'll be standing there waiting for requester slots most of the time, so I think 250 is good. We can always increase that. That's easy to do in Logic. And then somehow we're not putting Wait, am I not putting robots into the network? No, that doesn't make sense, right? Sure. Surely. Oh, there we go. No. Yes, okay. Wait. T is... Wait. What? Hold on, what's going on here? What did I mess up? This has to do with construction bots. This has to do with Logibots. This does not make sense. What did I do wrong? Oh, okay. This is Okay, so this is prioritizing this over that. Okay, but where do I put where do I put robots into the network? Like, seriously, where do I put them into the network? I mean, I have some being put in here. But this isn't all of my bot production. So I should probably have a roboport here somehow. What if I split it off here? That could work. Okay, I think that'll be fine. Actually, I probably don't want to put it in the same one because that could lock up the system. But I can put it here, no problem. Okay, there we go. That should be fine. We'll read robot statistics, available construction bots. T is greater than... Sorry, that's the opposite of what I want. Less than... Let's do 1,500 for this one. I don't know how many bots I'll really need, actually. Does anyone have an idea of how many main base bots they use in 100%? I guess it doesn't... I guess I don't really need to compare that much because our requirement is, you know, we're building things half as fast, right? Although we do also have more entities. But I definitely want to be within, like, a magnitude of them. Like, if they're using 10k, I don't want to be using 1k. But if they're using 2k, anything within a few hundred of that is probably fine. Okay, personal roboports earlier stage. You know, we're going to call this optional. Optional. It's only 3 trains I must build. Okay. Supplemental iron copper to original train? Yes, I know what that means. I know what that means. These are going to be running slightly slow. That's what this was about. This is supplementary coal and iron. Well, one of the ways we could get that. So we can mark this as done. done question mark, we added more drills to the train, to the outpost itself. There we go. Look at that. We even have like update history. Big mall can use more steel. This is the dreaded one that I did not want to have to do. So we need steel. We have steel. We have steel in lots of places. The issue is it's down here, and it's down here, and it's down here. And we need it here. So we don't have clean routes we can take. I really thought I had enough steel here, but then I realized bots were a little bit low, so we do actually need more steel than I thought. I think our best bet is to, in fact, take it from somewhere along this line. In fact, wait, did we already run it through? Or is this going somewhere else? Oh, wait. I think we tried to run it through, and then we accidentally combined our steel belt with our circuit belt. Okay, that's an easy fix. That does explain a lot. We were having weird routing the other day. Okay. Hello, Red Rafe. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so we accidentally mixed them. Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. So I used to think that this meant yellow underground. It turns out with the stage blueprint planning, all the undergrounds are the same color. So I was belt weaving this thinking this was a yellow belt, and it turns out it wasn't. Understandable mistake, I think. And a very, I think it's I would say relatively easy one to fix. We just have to shift all of these over. So that way they're no longer belt weaving. But yeah, I think I finished your, well, okay, so I quote unquote finished your mod last week. It still didn't give me a victory condition. So I don't know what I did wrong, but I mean, I did what I was told, launching the number of silos with satellites. But it never said I won, so I don't know. I don't know what happened. But we did finally wrap it up. Okay, did I do that correctly? Yes, I did. Okay. You know what? Since steel is this close, this isn't actually that big of an issue. Fun fact, during the 100% run, Antivation's base and all its burners will emit more CO2 than what 28 Earths combined do in a year. You're probably not wrong. Like, what if we convert, okay, if we convert the amount of coal we have to like pounds, how much, how many pounds do you think, or tons, whatever, do you think a single coal is? It looks like a whole rock, so I would imagine it's like about a metric ton, right? Like a 1 meter, a 1 meter wide block. Oh, or maybe the size is proportional. Maybe it's more like half a meter by half a meter or something. But I imagine if we're burning like 50,000 of those a second or whatever we're doing, I don't think it's that much. 100 of those a second, it probably is pretty expensive. Okay, so it turns out steel is not tricky to get. Well, it's not as tricky to get as I thought because we're already halfway there. So I'll take that. We take those. And now let's do some belt weaving because that didn't cause problems. How many coal belts am I consuming roughly? So we're producing up to 30. Wait. Hold on. Coal belt wise, we're doing like 8 coal belts. 4 to 8 coal belts. Solid fuel wise, we're producing about 30. plus whatever these are, which I think is another like 10, plus the outposts, which is another 1 per outpost. So 60 solid fuel belts, and then 8 coal belts, I think, roughly. Now, they're not being consumed constantly. I think average consumption is about half that. So let's say 4 and 40. 4 and 40 seems reasonable. Oh, you're right. We can just look at the fuel values. Okay, so maybe it's not as I say I was just thinking about the size. But yeah, they give us an actual number to use. So let's see. You said 30 joules per kilogram. Oh, I see. 500 millijoules per second. That seems low. Is it really? Is it really that low? Or is that if? Oh, no, no, it's definitely not that low, right? I thought it was like 2 gigawatts of fuel. 40 times 15 times 12, 7 gigawatts of fuel. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's only like peak consumption, to be fair. Um, Actual production is not nearly that high, but that peak consumption is pretty rough. Um, that would be once everything is running, right? Briefly, if everything runs, we can consume 7 gigawatts of solid fuel. That seems reasonable. Because each one of these can produce 12 megawatts, and I do, yeah, that tracks. That does track. Or sorry, each one of these can produce six, but yeah, that tracks. Gosh, I love burner inserters. It takes 2 gigawatts of actual energy or electricity to run our base, and then there's the coal count. Then there's the solid fuel consumption, which is 3 times that. Which does make sense, because we do use efficiency modules in a lot of places, and we also use, well, and we also are counting, I guess we're double counting the fuel towards electricity in that case. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the steel belt that I was trying to feed through here that I got lost during. Don't underestimate the power uses of bots either. Bots do use a lot of power. I don't think they'll use gigawatts of power, but they do use a lot of power, at least for our base. They could. You could definitely make them use gigawatts of power. Okay. And then, so we got steel here. That was easy enough. Do I have throughput problems? I think I might have throughput problems if I combine it. Let's see. This is 48. This is 48. So we're already 4/5 of the limit of the belt. That should be okay. Oh gosh, which one's the steel belt? There's nothing on it, right? There's nothing on it right now. Okay, it's this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay. Wait, that's not the steel belt. Wait. Um, is this the steel belt? Yes, this one's the steel belt, and it's the one that I backed up with the wrong thing at some point. Yes, okay. I was correct. I thought it was a little bit odd that this didn't look like the steel belt. 500 megajoules is something short of 15 gigawatts of power. What? That's not how megajoules work. It's literally a 1-to-1 conversion. Are you considering a megajoule to be like a full belt or something? Or... Well, it is in Factorio. It's definitely not in Factorio either. I'm pretty sure they use watts accurately. But if you're considering it like... I don't know. I'm trying to think of what would make that make sense. Ah, we were so close. We were so close to having it line up perfectly. Yeah, I really hope Factorio doesn't have megajoules defined that way. Considering it's literally the easiest conversion in the world. 1-to-1. Unless they're doing weird things with ticks. Deny. There we go. Hello, bots. There was one mod I played where they had something in the top left as... they had something in the top left as gigawatts per second. That one was really confusing. They just listed the capacity as watts, and they listed the production as watts per second. Which, you know, at first glance, I was very confused. Oh, okay. So you do mean 40 per belt. Gotcha. The way you said, well, it is in Factorio, made it seem like 50 millijoules equals per second equals 15 gigawatts of power. So that's each belt running like 30 power plants. Then that tracks. Yeah, that sounds about right. And then I halved it because I think my peak production will be... I think average consumption will be lower. So I think we'll probably be only using like 7 most of the time. Although it'll be hard to say. It'll be fun looking at the stats at the end to see how much coal we actually burned to get like an actual estimate. Because people ask all the time. But because we have to have overproduction in so many cases, it's going to take a long time for the overproduction to actually level out. Also, what is that? Why is that there? But yeah, I'm glad Factorio isn't making its own units. I've been skeptical ever since that one mod made its own units, and now I don't trust anything anymore. I was also playing... Oh gosh, I was playing I've been playing a Minecraft mod recently. One of the like Direwolves Feed the Beast ones. Wait. Car pickup, pipe pickup. See the map for more details. Oh, it's working. Cool. Anyway, I've been playing a mod, and it has the flow rate defined as the capacity defined as a flow rate, and it's really weird. We need to back up fuel on mines before base will have power from solid fuel. Just, I guess it's not like we need power anyway, right? Big Mall could use more steel. Okay, so that's technically done. I don't know how much steel we'll get. It might take a while, but it will help us produce more bots. theoretically. Buffer blue circuits, Orson missing iron lane from train on the left side. Blue assemblers through base. Wait, what? Have I not done that? Oh gosh. Okay, I remember now. Who even needs solid fuel and base? Electric miners are everything you need. Nonsense. We don't know the meaning of that word. It's been a long. Actually, we really do need to connect electricity. I think tomorrow. I think our base is looking pretty good. I think tomorrow we can go through and just connect everything to power. I think that's probably our next goal. Do that in roboports because I feel like we don't have a ton we have to weave through the base anymore. And I wanted to wait as long as I could to do power in case I need to do belt weaving. Because it's just annoying to have to delete things with every belt weave. But anyway, what was I talking? Oh, right. So the Minecraft mod, it has the like capacity of the pipes as like the flow rate. But the flow rate of the pipes is literally just the capacity of the entire pipe every single second or every single tick. So like it made me wonder how much easier would Factorio be if you could just get infinite flow rate by adding more pipes, because that's effectively what it was. It was the opposite, you know. The longer the pipes, the faster it can move fluid. Yeah, it was mechanism. It's incredibly jank. I if they just defined it not as capacity but as flow rate or something, I would have been okay. I would have been okay with it. Or if they just, you know, listed two separate values. But the fact that they just called it the same thing was wild. It was very frustrating. Maybe not frustrating, but it counterintuitive. There we go. Counterintuitive. It's a really cool mod aside from that. And I mean, functionally speaking, it is helpful. I will say it's helpful. It just, there is no reason for me to assume that's how it worked. So I was trying to do much more complicated ways to improve flow rate than just making the pipe in a circle and just adding extra pipe segments in the middle of nowhere, which is a very silly solution. But yeah, it would be very helpful with Factorio for sure. I wouldn't want it to work that way, but it would be nice. Why is my phone beeping? Why is this phone beeping actually? It shouldn't be getting notifications. Whatever. Anyway, blue assemblers through base. So this was a little bit of a dreaded issue. Let's see what we have so far. Looks like we did start it, and it goes over here. Goes up. That doesn't go through the base. That goes... okay, this is early yellow assemblers. Ah, here we go. So we just need this. And then I feel like we need another. If we could get this one and this one, that would be great. I don't know how viable that is. Well, this has coal on it. This used to be disconnected. That's why it's completely empty. We fixed it, but since the stage is disabled, I think... yeah, since the stage is disabled, it's not refilling, but I'm pretty confident we fixed that one. This goes... I've got nothing. How do we do this? Okay. Maybe we don't need it. I mean, that's the easiest solution. Maybe we don't need it, right? Would it be easier for me to just produce more up top? I think I think it would be better for me to just produce more later, because they're not that expensive, right? We need a total of 1 every 10 seconds? Something like that. Let's see. No, wait. We have 144 per outpost. We need 1 every 4 seconds. That's not that expensive. That's 1 gear per second, less than 1 circuit per second, half a steel per second. On the other hand, this stuff is just gonna idle. I don't think it's worth it to try to get this one. No, I just don't think it is. We could, although we added a splitter, we clearly wanted to route it. Let's see, can a red belt make it over this? I don't think it can. I think that would need a blue belt. So this can be as messy as we need. I don't want it to be, but it is an option. If this can go under, then we can pass it through here, and then we can switch to a red belt. Okay, I see the line. It would be worth belting if it would use the same belt as something else. I don't think it could. Well, okay, actually, wait a minute. We still need radars. I was gonna say, wait a minute, we could replace radars with assemblers. But we're not. We can't replace radars with assemblers because we need those assemblers. Or sorry, we need the radars. They're used for the silo. Silo launches. Launching satellites. That's the word. The things silos launch. I could not think of the name because we just don't use them very often. Let's see. How hard would it be to belt it? It's not great. It's definitely not great. The thing is, I don't know if I have spare circuits up here, which is why I want... Yeah, let's just belt it. Worst case scenario, I can delete the belt. Okay. Because I don't think belting it's that difficult. It's just going to be a little bit annoying. Okay. And it doesn't happen until later, which is nice. Okay, so this only works if it's on the correct side of the belt, and it looks like it is. Awesome. Now we can alternate to make this a little bit cheaper. Although we should have plenty of red belt at this point that I don't have to be that concerned with it. How are these rotated the wrong way? Smart belt? Let's blame smart belt. Okay. Now we can put something else on here. There is a possibility, like I was considering belting train stops. We don't actually do that right now. Wait, we don't have a way to get them on the train. It doesn't matter, even if we do belt them. Actually, wait, do we want them on the train? I don't think we want them on the train. Yeah, because we need the train stop built before anything happens. So yeah, we don't need them on the train. Is there anything else here that we could ship up? Pumps? Oh, actually, we do need pumps. Technically, I don't think they need to be on the train, but they need to be close. Only for small train. We don't, that means we have to choose. You know what? These are cheap. The reason that we're moving these over is because this produces a decent chunk per second that we can't afford to run up there. This one we use in a ratio of like 1 to 100. So I think locally produced train stops is fine. Locally produced assembling machines is actually more resources than I have up top. Same goes for pumps, which this shouldn't be that difficult. But then again, usually I'm wrong when I say that. I feel wrong already, actually. Let's see, this is on the inside. We'll need to do some weird side load there, but I think we could send pumps with it because this is going towards the later train. And we need pumps to run our fuel. Okay, yeah, there's definitely a line that makes this work, and I think that requires us to shift this iron belt somehow. Wow, this is so close yet so far. Wait, that's the title. That's my stream title. Nice. Wasn't even going for that. Like, I obviously want it here. Where does this iron go? And can I go over it with a red belt? Maybe. Yeah, okay. I can do that. These don't need iron, right? Yeah, okay. I see it. This iron belt can be shifted. I thought this iron belt was being used for something here, but it's just a bypass. Go somewhere else later. Don't know exactly what its purpose is, but currently its purpose is to be rerouted. And then we need to shift this a little bit to make it work, but that's not inherently a problem. One to the left can red... Wait. Wait, what can go one to the left? No, that's not what you meant. Is it what you meant? Good news, you have 1,200 burner miners you can borrow. You forgot to limit the chest. Oh gosh. Wait, did that happen in your run in a run just now? that that's a good mistake to have, I think. Maybe it's the new winning strategy. We'll prove it when I get 12 hours for a single run. You're just doing a casual playthrough, but yeah, very nice. Oh gosh, it's the worst in casual playthroughs because there's no way to repurpose them. It's nice in mods. Okay, start on top of chest as a side load. And this is to pass the... Thank you. I could not see how to get through there. Okay, it's clear now. Much appreciated. There we go. Okay, and then where does this go? Oh, wait. Wait. Do I need iron or do I need the gears? Okay, I just need the iron. We're good. Okay. Thank you. And then, oh right, we have to have the splitter here because burner inserters are garbage. Do them in a red chest near the mall just in case. Yeah, I guess there's a just in case. Didn't even have to underground the yellow belt? Don't think it was long enough. Oh, it was. Oh, right. Because I was trying it from here. So I knew this wasn't long enough. So when we shifted it up a tile, I was like, okay, it's still not long enough because we shifted it up one. But I completely forgot to count the tile with the chest. There we go. It's not that expensive, but I don't know how many undergrounds we have at that point in the run to waste them. Probably enough. But this isn't long enough, I think, for entity savings. Who knows? We might go through and do some entity savings. I'm not entirely sure what my total production is. Anyway, this one is now good to go. Awesome. Wow, that looks so much nicer. Cool. It is outputting onto the close side of the belt. Okay, that works out. Okay, so now this needs to be side loaded. And now it's the fun part. The real fun part. If I say that enough, it's true, right? Isn't that how it works? So we need to get this over here. Okay. Yeah, and this is why this is why people use you know, good old logistics bots. Oh, this is where my speakers... I forgot about my cursed speaker production. Yeah, I remember now. Okay. So we are here. Actually, I don't even know where we are here. Think our best bet right now is red belt. Definitely red belt. Okay, let's shift this over. Okay. So there it is. What? Admitting that Logibots are nice? Is that what this is all about? Or is that in response to me finally finding the belt? Okay, so this part's easy. I shouldn't say that. This part might be easy. Oh, speakers. Yes. Yeah, the speakers are rough. Yeah, belt weaving is great, except I learned something today about the blueprint planning mod. I didn't realize these weren't color coded. So there was one set of belt weaving where I'm like, oh, this is a yellow belt. It wasn't. Fortunately, that was, I think, the only time we actually had that much belt weaving to where it was a problem. But yeah, I just was like, oh, it must be a yellow belt if the icon's yellow. I was mixing my steel belt and my underground belt into one spot. So yeah, that's what the troubleshooting things is. That sounds like a feature request to Glass Bricks. You forgot who made the mod? Yeah, it was Glass Bricks. Which reminds me, there's a lot of things I need to figure out how to use with this mod. Because honestly, I know how to export blueprints, but I don't really know how to actually define the center, like, accurately. Like, I don't know what the real runners use as, like, reference points. Because it can do it automatically, but I feel like people, like, set something as the center and then it builds around it. I don't know. There's clearly some magic, and I'm assuming it just has to do with having something to auto-align it, and I don't know what that is, or what I should use for that. I'm sure I'll figure it out. But I'm definitely going to spend one day trying to export blueprints. Like, that'll be the whole stream. Okay, so far it's fine. Some easy to spot place is good. Yeah, I guess that also brings up the question, do I want it to be centered on based on the center of the map, or like the center of my base, or just like the corner of the base? Also, hear me out. This is a little bit more expensive, but good lord, is it an easy belt weave to do? We're going left. Yeah, we're going left. And it's not that expensive. It's like 50 more underground belts over the course of like a 12-hour run. Don't do the 100%. Don't the 100% runs anchor somewhere in the first mall? I think most of them do. I think there's like one blueprint stage that was different, at least with the blueprint set that I had to compare to. Most of them just, yeah, most of them had anchor points like in the center of like the starter base. There's one that was just offset, or at least manually offset. It might have had the same center point, but it was weird alignment. As center an 8x8 grid to easy snap. Yeah, I'll definitely be doing some kind of alignment grid like that, because I definitely don't need like a ton of flexibility for the base. And considering, actually, we might not be using a controller for much of the base building, but center snapping will definitely be helpful, or sorry, grid alignment will definitely be helpful with a controller, and even without one, but it's a complete necessity with one. Okay, we're actually, yeah, I'm kind of glad we went around. What's weird is this is more expensive than setting up new production, but because of how we would have to set up new production, I think this is cheaper. Well, it's not cheaper, it uses resources that we have. Right, like, it's resources we have versus resources we don't have. So it's not really just like a cost analysis at this point, it's just I don't have access to more belts of iron up here. Does this run require extra oil to get you all the solid fuel? It requires 30,000 oil per second, I think. 20 to 30,000 oil per second, somewhere in that range. Now it's not going to consume that constantly. That's like its peak production. A lot of our builds consume a ton of oil and produce a lot of fuel really fast for like 15 minutes, and then they stop. So that estimate is just based on how many chem plants I have, or I know I have. But the average consumption is a lot lower than that. We just have a margin of about, I aim for 1 to 200% overproduction with burner inserters, because if you don't do that, they don't start. Within the base, we don't have as much overproduction, but our outposts have at least a factor of 2. Yeah, just a little bit of oil. Just some extra oil. Not a crazy 10 times the oil, whatever it is. Is it 10 times? It might be 10 times, actually. Okay, there we go. We got blue assemblers. Also, hold on, I'll be right back. I need a short bio break. Oh, I still haven't fixed this screen. Still not fixed, hold on. Order. I can't group it because there's a group within the group. If I do stretch the screen, that does all the individual elements. At least background I know I can change. There we go. And then now I should be able to group these. There we go. Ungroup. Okay, back in a bit. All right, I have returned. But yeah, in response to solid fuel, every outpost that we have, all of our green chip outposts, they use roughly 30k solid fuel before the outpost even starts. Or I need to produce 30k solid fuel before the whole thing starts up, is a better way to phrase it. They don't consume it all. It's just that's how much it takes to fill up every belt and every inserter before it actually starts running full speed. it gets close to full speed pretty much earlier than that, but yeah, it's like 20 to we're redesigning it to try to get it down to like 20 to 25k, because that will increase the start time by about 10 minutes, I think. How much am I producing? 10k divided by 15, 5 to 10 minutes. I think we produce a little over one yellow belt or one red belt. I cannot remember. But the important thing is we got these through. Now, for some reason, we don't have pumps. I think that is just because the inserter was not actually running. So let's just follow the belt. We don't need to follow it that far because we know that the assemblers can make it all the way through. I really just need to confirm that this guy is loading on the correct side, because I did not check. Okay, so that's on the inside. Okay, and then this one. This one actually I want to prio to the right. Gosh. The there's definitely a lot of spots where I realize, oh gosh, we forgot something. Like I left so much space too for stuff like that, and it was barely enough. It just burner inserters. I overestimated how much space I left. Apparent, very clearly. Hand build power plant estimate. Right. Okay. We need to figure out how much power our starter base uses before we can get to bots, which would be this. We could do a very rough estimate of just assuming everything runs full speed. I think that's reasonable, right? Like, definitely better to overestimate. Okay. We can ignore anything that isn't fuel, so that part's nice, or anything that isn't electric. So let's see, that's 276 times... Is there a calculator? Like, if I just run this into Factorio bin, does that give me the power consumption? Because that would definitely be easier. Oh, what are these? Oof. Let's see. These use 270. These use 155. Well, that's confusing. Let's just round up. Starting base is really long. Yeah. Burner inserter bases are very wide. For equivalent production, you're looking at a base that's approximately 100% wider. So, yeah. Once you get to the assembling machines. 50 to 100% wider. These are only a little bit wider, but like assembling lanes, 50%. 50% wide, 100% wider. It's not ideal, but it's also burner inserters, so there's not much you can do. Because it's either really wide or it's going to be this tall. But at least the width lined up with my smelting lanes, because otherwise I would have had the smelting lanes go all the way up to here. But yeah, this is my green chip. This is so much larger. I guess, actually, this one's only like... This part's only like 40% larger, right? 60% larger. These ones are much, much wider than that, though, because you need more assemblers usually. Anyway. Math, right? Okay, so we're going to say... We're going to average them out. We're going to say we use about 200 per assembler. That seems reasonable. Now, all of these numbers are going to be way higher than what's actually going to happen. Labs, what else uses power here? Oh, regular assemblers. What are they, like 100? I don't remember what regular assemblers use. Regular assemblers are 77. Okay. I like how I'm assuming these are going to run full speed when they very much will not run speed. Plus 70 times 77. What else we got? Chem plants are in refineries. Oh, wait. You can see the consumption in this tab. For some reason, I thought you couldn't hover over these to get stats. Wasn't even trying. Okay. That makes it a lot faster. 217 times 30 plus 430 times 18. Roboports, we don't actually need to care about those. This is for hand-built power. Well, I guess we kind of do, but I doubt the roboports are going to make or break it. Let's just add 40 times 40 to that. Or not 40 times 40, sorry, 4 times 40. 40 times 40. That would be rough. This early in the run and we're already using like 1 gigawatt. They don't use that much, right? Okay, I was like, wait a minute. They don't use 40 megawatts. They use 4. It's like, that would be... my estimates would have been real off if that was the case. Okay, and then the last but not least was labs. We don't have prods in these labs. Prods would bring it up to, let's see, it's 2 prod modules, so double that. Let's say 110 times 32. Okay, so our starter base uses 80 megawatts. That is barely 2 power plants. Okay, well that's easy. Like that's 138 long power plant, right? Like not even double-sided, roughly. I don't think they're, well, they're more like 36. So it's like one full lane of coal plus a little bit over 1 lane of coal, I think. Plus another very small lane of coal. 15. Yeah, because each lane of coal is 60. So 1.3 lanes of coal going into power. Before we get our main power plant online, which is this one, which we still need to do. And then we have their design for reference. So that is one thing we have going for us. Our power plant is a much smaller footprint. That, of course, is ignoring the fact that we're producing, 80% less power in this space. But it is a smaller footprint, which we cannot say about our main base, which is the same footprint, but producing less than half as much. So I love burners. Love them. Okay. So yeah, early power plant is about 80 megawatts. 80 megawatts. So that's what we need to build before we get the good stuff. And the good stuff, I mean, I can't think of what they're called. Steam turbines as opposed to steam engines. Yeah. Okay. Buffer blue chips or send spare red chips elsewhere. All right. So we have a couple options to keep producing green chips, blue chips in our main base, right? Once RCUs stop, because we do want to keep our main base just producing stuff as much as possible. Now, buffer chests are great for that, because these are actually really dense in terms of how much space they use in a chest. So it is half the stack size of electronic circuits, but it's also, well, if you count the red chips, like 14 electronic circuits, I think, per processing unit. Or 28, and then divided by 2 for the stack size. So it's 14 times more dense than the chests. So we can store surplus in the chest for a bit. Fun fact, the last 2 stages of their base doesn't add a single offshore pump, yet energy is cheated up. Trying to think what autocorrect made that. Like struggling? Why isn't there shit. Is it just because they repurpose their water from elsewhere? I'm not sure. How did they avoid getting offshore pumps? Or needing them? Is it just because that's when they cut off their original power plant to get more efficient water usage? Gosh, I love the trailer song. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I can see that. It is very ineffective. It is like half, no, it's like a quarter as water efficient, because we actually need a very similar water throughput. Our water throughput is much closer to theirs than it should be, considering we're using, insert burners. This doesn't have any rails on it. I think that's fine. Okay. So we need to figure out where blue chips go. So blue chips follow this. Da da da. This is just a buffer chest. So this one we can just delete, actually. There's like a fly or some kind of gnat buzzing around right now. Keep thinking there's stuff happening. Because like anytime I see like something move to the left, I am like, oh, possible chat message. It's a fly. It's a very misleading fly. Okay, I don't know why we can't delete that. Did we do this on the wrong stage? Weird. they wanted to keep it working, even more maps would have too small of a lake. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because it's not like you can hand add power that easily. Like you could probably do like some weird addition to the lake each time for like the weird like little strips of water they have at the end, but it would be so much work. Well, I wasn't trying to collect it. I was trying to deconstruct it. Oh, I clicked force delete. This isn't deconstruction. This is deconstruction. Yeah, I figured the inventory part. But yeah, the issue was that this is not deconstruct. This is the fancy one added by the mod. Okay, so we'll follow the blue chips as far as they go. Wow, they go real far. Wait, where the heck do blue chips go? These go on an adventure. Okay. What is I mean, I know what I was thinking. Like there's a reason it's designed like that. It's because they have to go to like 4 different places, and I can't like just use the long inserter, so I have to keep splitting it onto a belt with fuel. But yeah, that tracks. Okay. There we go. So we keep following it, we keep following it, we keep following it. Wow, this goes far. And this is where it ends. Okay, so these don't actually go anywhere other than science. So this is probably somewhere that should have a buffer chest. And then this spot is nice and empty, so I think this would be a good spot for it. We also have access to fuel pretty easily here. So if we take this, split this off. Okay, and then buffer time. Okay, so buffers with burner inserters are not good. We also need them to be somewhat balanced too, because they can't output that fast individually. Now, does the side matter? I don't think the side matters, right? Oh, wait, does it? I didn't check. This could also have LDS on it, right? Oh, this has LDS on it. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. We can still do a buffer. We can still do a buffer. We just have to be a little bit smarter about it. Or we have to think it through more. Okay. I guess we could also do an LDS. Honestly, we don't really need an LDS buffer. The way LDS is set up, it gets priority for all of its resources. Blue chips are a little bit weirder in that regard. So I want them to be able to buffer better. Okay, so first things first, we split stuff out. Blue chips, I think, are on this side, so we want to keep them on that side. Okay. Now this isn't that balanced, and by that balanced, I mean it's literally not balanced at all. But I don't think we need an incredibly high throughput of blue chips, right? So it could be fine. Let's see. This uses 1.4. That is technically one inserter. If it's only using one inserter worth of blue chips, a buffer chest might work great. This LDS, though, that is using a little bit more than that. We should also do a prio. Then it won't matter as much. So what we should actually do is prio past the buffer, and then recombine it at the end. Okay, so one of these chests I don't think is enough. Let's do 2 sets. And then let's use this design, because we're not moving a ton of fuel here. This is one of the cheaper ones, generally. Okay. Underground, 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 and underground. And then this is where we can recombine them right at the end. Perfect. Okay. This is messed. This isn't really correct. But we're almost there. Okay, I don't think we have as much space as I would like. So I think we need to move this down. Yeah, we'll have to move that down. Okay, that's fine. And then... will this work? Let's delete this for now. Okay, I mean, that part works. The issue is we don't have the bypass yet. I was hoping the bypass could sideload there, but I don't think that's going to happen. So we will instead put one here. Okay, that's all right. Nope, that's not the right spot. Okay, maybe I should do a splitter. I wasn't thinking I should do a splitter at first, but then I added more inserters. And at low fuel densities, inserters fighting for fuel isn't great. Okay, so yeah, this you can see right here why we don't tend to use buffers with inserters that much. Because this is 4 chests. And it's awful. Gosh. So, like, this entire section that we have up top near, like, the train for inserters, or for buffers, it's pretty much all going to be used. It looks like we have a lot of space, but we really don't. Okay, I think I sideloaded everything properly. Yeah, these are on the right side. This is on the left, so it splits it. Okay, that's all right. So that gives a nice little buffer for science, because I imagine science is going to be limited by bots for a bit. We need to bet at the start of the run how many inserters will stop working. That would be fun. There's no way to track that, so we can't actually do something like that. Or there's not a good way to track that. Honestly, I'm not that concerned about how inserters not working. Like, we've been pretty good about keeping to safe design. I'd be much more worried about inserters being... After finishing manually count, how am I going to manually count them? If they stop working, I'm going to, like, restart them. Because a lot of them, if they start working, I'll have to fix it. So I would have to, like, go through the replay to do that. But yeah, ideally, most of the ones that stop will be fixing or refueling. If we could have, if somebody was going to watch all 12 hours, they could keep track for me anytime I went to fix one, but that sounds like a lot of work for them. I guess that's fine there. But yeah, the things I'm more worried about are flipped belts due to how the burner stage mod handles rotating things on the wrong layer. Sometimes I actually rotate things if they're like, if I'm on this stage, but they're placed on this stage, or I guess the other way around. And that tends to just break it, like, permanently. We have a lot of errors being thrown for that, and I imagine a lot of them are going to be placed the wrong way because of that. Plus, there's also just genuinely me placing things the wrong way. So I think between the two of them, it's not great. Also, we can save 2 entities here. Might as well, right? Okay, we built that one on the wrong layer. Gosh, this buffer chest, though. I think there's more compact ways to do one. We have one for steel. I don't know if it's better, though. I feel like it's not better. No, it's not better. It's just not double-sided. It's just not double-sided, so it doesn't look as large. But yeah, it's just as much of a footprint. Okay, our best bet, the fewer buffer chests we have here, the better. So that's important to keep in mind. So burner inserters, transfer belts, underground belts, those all need buffer chests. I don't think burner drills do. Basically anything with a high... Ooh, actually anything with an entity count higher than like 200 needs a buffer chest. Right? Yeah. Yeah, anything with an entity count that high definitely needs one. Transfer belts, surprisingly, will not need a buffer chest. Those can just go into a red chest for personal use, so that's nice. Splitters will definitely need one. Assembly machines I could probably skip. Chem plans. Okay, a lot of these I can skip. and just put them in like a regular red chest. That'll be nice. Have we shipped steel furnaces through the base? I think we need to just start doing the buffers. That would probably be a good option. Also, we need to put pumps on this. Don't know how many, but we definitely need pumps. Because we'll be using we might not need pumps. We might not need them. I'm not entirely certain. I feel like we do, but there is a chance we don't. What is this? I need to produce this many over 6 hours? That's not right. What does this mean? Oh, it means I need this many to make it run for 6... For... What does that mean? 6 hours. Oh, this is how much extra I need to make it run for 6 hours. That's what it is. My regular bases only run for 4. This makes it run for 6. Okay, that makes sense. Which I don't even think that's accurate anymore because we are redoing that. We have to. Okay, let's just start doing the buffer chest. These used to share it with coal. Oh wait, we have coal here. So this thing that we did was unnecessary. Cool. Should we delete it? I guess delete coal from plastic. Honestly, with how important this coal belt is, let's not delete it. Let's just sideload it so that way I have 2 sources of coal. I think that's fair. And then we'll actually put it into a splitter so that way both sides of the belts can be used there to keep it a little more balanced. Okay, there we go. Supplemental coal. In case things are a little bit off. Okay. So burner inserters, obviously necessary to have in a buffer chest. Oh, the issue is these need to be balanced buffer chests. So how do we do that? If I want to fill an entire half lane, that is 7.5 items per second. That is 3 inserters. If I'm content with 80% or 3 inserters on each side, or not on each side, 5 inserters. But that is very much a hard number to balance. If we can make do with 4, things look a lot nicer. Let's see, how much do I need? Where's finalized outpost that we were using as our reference? Final outpost 2400. Okay. 2400. We want this over 150 seconds. Wait. Wait, do we need 16 inserters per second? No. No, that's just for filling speed. That's just if we want to fill it in 2.5 minutes. Wait, what was my goal? I think I was going for 180. Okay, so we do need to be able to output 15 belts, an entire half belt of burner inserters, but we don't need that as our average production. So we just need to balance it. So 13.3 divided by 1.6 is, I don't actually know that off the top of my head, 8.3. We need 8.3 inserters. Okay, you know what? That's pretty close to 8. Let's just do this. I think that makes things very, very simple and very easy. And we still go fast enough. So something like this should work, right? So this splits 1 lane into 8 chests. I really wish burner inserters were better. But, you know, I wish a lot of things. They will actually, you know what? This part of the run will actually be a lot better in 2.0. Filter inserters would make this Much, much nicer. Wow, this is really what it takes to saturate a whole belt. That's wild. And this isn't even saturating a whole belt, actually. This is cutting a corner and just doing close to a whole belt. Trying to make it a little bit cleaner. Okay, I think this looks a little bit nicer. I don't know if the footprint's smaller, though. Probably not. But maybe. Probably not. Okay, so this is how much space we need for burner inserters. Probably belts and undergrounds as well. What else? I think we only need this many chests for those things, actually. Yeah, these are the only ones that need 8 separate chests, so that helps a lot. And then we need to be able to buffer 2,800, right? So, or 2,400. Each stack is 50. So 200 times 8, that's not enough. So we need at least 6 stacks in each. Obviously, we want extra. There we go. Internal buffer of 1,000%, 4,000. Okay, cool. And then these can get distributed as needed. Cool. I don't think I'm going to fully connect these today. I think we're just going to get the buffers set up. And then coal, because I'm not entirely sure how I want to group all of these together. We'll probably make them we'll probably give them some kind of coal grid. We can also use the buffer. We can also not use the buffer. We can also bypass the buffer. So that might also help. Because like this doesn't necessarily need to be able to output 15 from the buffer alone, because we will be producing new stuff as we build. So if we do a bypass, I think that also works. So if we combine them here with fresh stuff, that lessens the load a little bit. Actually, we can do it here or something. One side of the buffer can go for one wagon, the second to the second wagon. Yeah. One will be for this half, one will be for this half. These are divided among like 6 separate wagons, but yeah, that's the general idea. They have to be divided that way for inserter, just for inserter count. I can't get enough inserters between 2 wagons to fill the train fast enough. Or at least it's difficult. I could probably make it work. But then we would have a train with nothing but burner inserters in it. That might be easier. I can definitely rearrange the wagons. It might be easier to just put all the burner inserters in one. I think the only reason I didn't is because of... Yeah, I think the only reason I did it is because of... I know why. Unloading inserters. I wanted the unloading inserters to also be balanced between each wagon. And if I do like all the inserters in one wagon, that one's going to have like 2,000 entities, and then the one next to it will have like 40. There's probably another distribution I can use, though. I'll have to look more into it later, because I bet there is one. Okay. And then we've decided that we need the same thing for undergrounds and regular belt. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should try to flip them around. Because this could be all burner inserters. That would probably be better. Rearrange, outpost, train. Fewer item types per train. There we go. I don't necessarily need to do it right now. I just want to get the buffer set up. Is there a better way to do this buffer? Like, how important is the balancing? Maybe the balancing isn't that significant. Because if we have internal buffers, we could possibly... Honestly, they might just fill up fast enough that they don't need to be balanced. It's like, this is an option. But we could potentially just have them take directly from the belt. And honestly, they're slow enough that it might not be a problem. Like, because burner inserters are so slow, they might not have any trouble grabbing from the balancing themselves just because they can't keep up with the production. It's like, this is obviously a much smaller footprint. And then we need underground. We'll do we'll do belt savings later. I think for now I just want to get the general layout, but there's definitely going to be some belt savings we can do here pretty easily. Okay, so now if we did something like this, I would actually want to prio here to go completely past these. It's a little bit messier than I would have liked. Maybe I just go around, because these can combine back into the middle. Ordinarily, though, I would like the prio to be a little bit straighter. Can I get this through here? If I make it wider, I guess it's not worth it. Like that. Let's see, which is going to be prioed? My concern is if I don't have a bypass, it might be rough. Oh, you're right, you're right. No, I have red belt. I have red belt. And it's pretty cheap at this point. Yeah, that looks much nicer. I wonder if there's probably another way. I wish I could get these to combine just by going straight. Okay, yeah, that looks nicer. I guess it is a little taller, but the width I think is what matters here. I'm still not entirely sure I need the bypass lane, but because burner inserters are so slow, I think if we don't have the bypass lane, they're just gonna slow down the total production. Because I think coming in, we only have like 4. I'm worried if we don't have the bypass, they're just gonna keep cycling around the 4. And then if we're doing it this way, we need a smaller chest size. We need to make sure we don't oversize it. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we need 8 each, 400. No, 300. 300 in each. Yeah, 300 each plus what's on the belt should be more than enough. Okay. We can honestly probably make do with 5. The smaller the buffers, the more balanced they'll be, which is why I keep decreasing the size. Okay, I think this will work. I'm pretty sure we have a decent amount of burner inserters coming in as well. Like, we do produce, I think, about 4 to 5 per second on average. The issue is that we just need to be able to burst out 15 per second from storage. So between the two of those should add to 15 between the buffers and the incoming. Okay. And then we can do the exact same thing now for undergrounds and regular belts. Okay, what is our next? Actually, wait, do I still have the image? Okay, we don't need the check marks. That's the old one. Add image. Image. Upload. I need to make sure it's the right one first, actually. I don't know which one is right. That is an upload schedule. 131644. Okay. There we go. This is how we've been keeping track of our entity count as we like build. Okay, cool. Now we definitely don't need this large of a buffer for the burner drills. So burner drills, we need 600 over 3 minutes. Now I think my goal is to load the train faster than we unload it. One of the two. But ideally, we do have... I do want to be able to unload and load the train within 3 minutes on each side. Our goal is about 1 outpost every 10, maybe every 8. I don't know. We'll see. Burner outposts are just so much slower to build, so we can't go for nearly as fast. Okay, so we need 3. So we can probably make do with 2 chests for burner inserters, or for the drills. Plus the drills will have... Yeah, plus the drills will be nice since they will have... Well, actually, this makes the bypass real easily. But yeah, the drills are nice because they will have access to the belt buffer. And honestly, the belt buffer for the drills is almost good enough. I don't know. It might not be, though, so that's why I wanted to do a little bit more. Okay, so we need 300 total. Yeah, I think if we do this for the... I think this is all we really need for this one. Like that should work. I think that's a good enough buffer system for drills. Let's see, where is that? We should probably label them as we do it, huh? Because we're definitely not like actually hooking things up today. We're just trying to get the general buffer built to see if we have enough space. Because if we build the buffers and realize we need like 10 times more space, I definitely don't want to have to rebuild everything. Okay. What else do we need buffers for? We definitely don't need one for substations or power poles, so that's nice. Now, I think everything we don't have a buffer for, I at least want to have... Wait, let's shift this up. If we don't have a buffer for it, I at least want a red chest still, so that way the stuff can be used throughout the base. Which reminds me, these should probably also... Actually, this is the last thing that gets built. There's really no reason to have a buffer chest, a red chest for many of these. But just in case we somehow like forget something, they're not that expensive, so we can afford like a few of them. Okay, efficiency modules definitely need a buffer. We don't actually need as many efficiency modules as that says. So 420 was if we have 2 or 3 in every single refinery, chemical plant, and assembler. But half of our assemblers only run half speed, so those aren't really worth putting efficiency modules in because that just bumps it down from an average of 75 kilowatts to 35. Oh, well, more like 75 to like 30, but either way, it's not a lot. So that will save about 70. So we really only need about 320, 350. And then I think if we prioritize our chem plants, we can do it even more, or even more easily. Yeah, we'll be doing this in, oh, thanks so much for the follow. Welcome. But we'll be doing the run, hopefully in a couple weeks. The goal was supposed to be the 1st of September, but I missed a lot more streams this month than I thought I would. But the base itself is definitely getting there, so I think early September is still attainable, or mid-September. We'll see. I'll probably start doing some practice offline as well, mostly to learn the controls. Okay, so undergrounds don't need a buffer chest. Steel things... Steel might actually need a buffer chest. A lot of things can make do with 1. Yeah, these can make do with 1. Some things just need a buffer chest because the belt isn't that long for it to buffer on the belt. Like rails, undergrounds, they don't have that much distance to travel. I feel like I could probably do another item here. What does burner drill share the belts with? Currently it shows nothing. They probably share the belt with something though. But yeah, I think if we do a splitter here. Yeah, no, that works real well. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. I like how these ones continue through, but these ones continue through, but these don't. Actually, let's remove that. I think that might make them work a little bit better. Because again, burner inserters are the worst. Would not recommend. Okay, this is going to be a little bit weird, but I think we put. Let's do steel furnaces. Let's do steel furnaces on this one. So we'll mark it as this. Honestly, we should be using combinators to mark these, but the splitters get the idea across. Alright, furnaces are good. Let's put the two modules together. I feel like there's definitely a way for me to do like 4 in a single set here. I don't know if it does. I can't imagine it would be better though. Also, these aren't going to be in one perfect line. They're probably going to be wrapped around the train. So I guess I don't have to worry too much about that. They are getting a... Well, they're getting a buff. I don't think it's a... They're still really bad. But they will be a little bit more usable, for sure. I hope they actually... I hope they get buffed more than originally implied. Like, I think one thing they could use that would really help would be if they had infinite fuel, but at like 10% speed or something. Like, I think that would make them really good. Because currently the issue is if you have them self-feeding, even if like fuel's backed up on the belt, they might just stall forever. Now the changes added in 2.0 will make this less likely because the burner inserter will move faster, so it shouldn't have as much trouble grabbing from a belt before it dies. But it still will be a huge limiting factor for them. But if they just moved at like 10% speed or 5, honestly just any amount of speed, if they had no coal, they would be so great. Plus you could even use them in that case for like moving satellites without having to worry about powering that inserter, because you know everyone knows that's a very critical part of actually wait, that is a critical part of mega bases. Because the burner inserter would be so slow that it would generally add like 5 seconds to the silo launch. But yeah, I'm still excited for the changes. I don't think they'll fix them completely, but the filters will give us a lot more flexibility. Like right here, these could all be self-feeding, but they can't now because we don't have filtering. Let's do... Actually, this design is pretty good. I think for these, I can make do with one chest, right? Let's see. 350 divided by 150. Never mind, these still need 2 chests. Wait, is 600 enough? 600 divided by 150. That's... What number did I use earlier? Oh, 180. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for 180, not 150. Interesting idea, could likely be implemented like they are implementing the new portable fission reactor, requiring some of the fuel on the recipe. Oh, like require coal to make the burner inserter? I think I get what you're going for. I think burner inserters are so bad that we don't need to make them costly to balance out that mistake, to balance out the infinite fuel part. I think it would be totally fine if that was just a feature of it for free. Because they're still not, even with it, they're still not good by any definition. They're just not as bad. But that's interesting. I didn't realize they're adding a new portable reactor. I guess that makes sense. If they're adding any like higher tier of stuff, they would probably want. Wait, which one should be which? Yeah, if they're adding more power armor stuff, I can imagine you would need more power. Yeah, I just think these guys need boosts. They don't need anything to offset those boosts. We just need to buff them. Okay, so these also need 2 chests. So this, if anyone's wondering, this list in the top left corner, that is how many entities I need per outpost. Our goal is to fill 1 train every 10 minutes on average. That includes loading, unloading, and travel. So that means to give us some wiggle room for maybe some rails being blocked or waiting for rails, stuff like that. We want to I want to do the loading and unloading each in 3 minutes, and burner inserters are really, really, really slow. So this is how many inserters we need, roughly. Actually, it's a little bit more than this. This is roughly how many inserters, or a little bit less than that, but this is pretty close to fill a train in like 3 minutes. It's rough. Burner stack inserter, now that would be cool. How about burner stack inserter? The stack inserters that can move the stacks or whatever. The current portable reactor fusion reactor will become the portable fission reactor, and then a new fusion reactor will come. Ooh. I was wondering what they were going to do about the old one. So they're just adding an even better one. Awesome. Yeah, I haven't been following the expansion that closely. I've only followed the stuff regarding quality of life. I haven't read anything regarding like content. I'm not like avoiding spoilers, so I don't mind if people mention them. I just don't look them up myself, so I'm always surprised when someone mentions something like that. You need to automate everything past blue and red inserters every playthrough. Oh yeah, no, I would not recommend not doing that. It's no, learn from me. Don't do this. But also do this. It's really fun. Let's do pipes and splitters here. So now we're getting to the point where I think we can switch to 1 chest at a time for the buffers. So these ones all have a fairly high entity count. These ones were honestly barely like at the threshold. Because we do also have the belt buffer. So these can probably drop down to 1. So you also need to do all your modules. Right now you're just stacking speed and prod 2s. I have almost never automate anything past speed 1s and prod 1s. But I also don't have that many runs that are that late. But yeah, howdy Tice. We're working on setting up a little bit of a buffer system so that way we can fill our train fast enough, because it turns out like our average production is high enough, but we need a belt buffer, and we need to do it before the train because we can't buffer at the train because burner inserters. So that's what this is. I think belt buffer alone might be good enough for most of these, but I think I'm still going to do 1 chest just in case, because it's not that expensive. Now I feel like if we're switching to 1 chest, there's a better design we can use. Yeah, I also need to look, I haven't looked any more into redesigning the outpost with the new, the fuel reduction belts that we added. I have not looked more into that. So currently I'm still basing my numbers around the old design. But I feel like the new design is definitely decent. Like, it needs a little bit of work, just because we haven't, like, stress tested it. But I think it does seem promising. Because burner inserters seems to be the thing. I know, right? It's almost like that is the theme of the base. Who would have thought? Okay, so this one I don't actually think needs a bypass lane. I think this one can just go straight through, honestly. On the other hand, a bypass lane is incredibly easy. But yeah, no, this should be able to make do without a bypass lane. Let's see, 244 divided by 180. Yeah, we don't need a bypass lane here. Cool. That makes it a little bit easier. So these can just stay split at the end. Wait, why am I recombining these? I'm realizing that we're combining them only to combine them later. That's silly. Or to split them later. Okay. You know what? It's not a problem because it's literally as simple as doing this. What am I thinking? It doesn't make it harder at all. Okay, so this one would be red belt and assemblers, I guess. That's fine. I'm basically just grouping them more by item count than anything, because that's kind of how the buffers work. Depending on the counts, you might just be better off making a belt buffer. Honestly, yeah. I could just do a belt buffer for anything after this. Like, these ones I think are good to have a real buffer. Because a belt buffer for 402 entities is pretty large, right? Actually, is it? Actually, you know what? These come from the middle of my base. I think just going from here to here, that's probably 400 items. Let's see. Yeah, you're just getting to this train, they're already at the buffer. So yeah, we don't need those ones at all. These ones we definitely do. These don't travel that far, and the entity count's way too high. We're not gonna do, what would this be, 2,000 tiles of belt? So these ones are definitely necessary. These ones are a maybe. I don't think furnaces we can probably skip. Burner drills. Burner drills, maybe. Because the thing is, I don't think we produce any burner drills up here. I think they all come from the original base. So maybe we can just do only these. Because, like, I'm trying to think, just like the belt buffer for most of these is the spaghetti through the entirety of the base. So the only thing that wouldn't need a belt buffer is this locally produced stuff, like red belt. Wait, we don't use that much red belt, do we? Oh, this doesn't have an accurate red belt count. Red belt count is going to be a little bit higher than that. Okay, so red belt can get a buffer. I think splitters definitely need a buffer. I think splitters should get a buffer. They might not need it, but I don't think it adds much. So let's do splitters and red belts and then call it good. How many burner inserters do you need to drain a line of items? 64. It sure feels like it. It takes... It's fully upgraded. It's like 13 inserters or something like that. Well, no, sorry, not 13. About 11. 10 to 11. 64, you think, is the 100% second power plant? Oh, upgrades? Yeah. Yeah, there are upgrades. Otherwise, it would be 30, which is honestly pretty close. Yeah, without those, I think this run would be at least twice as long, just looking at the green chip achievement alone. Okay, and then this one will have, I said this would be splitters and red undergrounds. Okay, and then everything else can have a belt buffer. I think I'm fine with that. Now, the things that have a belt buffer, we do need a buffer chest. Or not a buffer chest. We need a chest for bots because chemical plants... Actually, do we? I'm not entirely sure if my entire base is produced at this point. Or if it's, like, still finishing. I think chem plants were still producing down here, so maybe we'll be okay. See, you just learned you can get a tumor that grows a brain. I heard grows in a brain. Grows a brain. That is, that sounds like a plot of, like, a lot of horror story, or, like, cartoon horror stories. I don't know, that seems like something that would be in a Cartoon Network show, almost. Like, because I've seen a lot of them where they have, like, a talking sentient pimple, or something like that. Yeah, 32 boilers, 64 is the number of steam engines. Yeah, that's also not, that's not maxing out the movement speed of the inserters, right? That's based on the boiler lane using up all the fuel. Which is, you know, admittedly pretty close to the full rate of a burner inserter. Have you seen my power plant? This is actually what we're doing for the power plant with ours. Pretty excited about it. It's pretty neat. It uses 3,000 oil. 3,000 oil, by the way, is all we need for our power. Most of the oil goes directly into solid fuel, which goes onto belts. Yeah, this is what we have for our power plant. It produces like 2 gigawatts or something. The pipe spaghetti? Yeah. So I wanted them to line up with, so I wanted the refineries to be the same width as the turbines that they're connected to, which is why it's a little bit spaghetti. But I wanted them to be folded nicely to line up perfectly with the set above it, so for easier pasting. But yeah, this isn't too bad. It's not, at least we're not doing like pipe belt weaving. You're pretty sure in an episode okay, it was Fairly Odd Parents. Yeah, I was thinking that. I also am pretty sure I saw there was an episode of that in Star versus Evil. There's definitely more. But yeah, the power is very nice. It's one of the cleaner parts of our base. Rearrange outpost train. Oh yeah. Right. The way I have my outpost train set up is kind of weird. I think it had to, I don't know why I have things dispersed between so many chests or so many wagons. Obviously, I need to swap them. Like I should have belts in two wagons and then burner inserters in 2 wagons. Part of it was I was thinking initially that the amount of stacks inside the train was going to be a little bit too much if I put all burner inserters in one. But I think we can manage. But it is something I'll have to do next time. I'll get a better idea of it once I start hooking these up. And then this is burner inserters. Okay. So yeah, we'll need to do some belt spaghetti. I think, wait a minute. I don't think that we have a split lane here. I think we have some sushi in one of these bases. Yeah, these are sushi outputs. These ones are also sushi. No, these ones aren't sushi. Okay, these ones aren't sushi. These ones are. It's a fairly easy fix. So all we have to do is do the buffered chest early, I think, is the easiest choice, right? And all of these have an incredibly low entity count. So we can do inserter, inserter, inserter. We go into a chest. And that disables the output inserters. Okay. I clearly just copied the logic of an earlier design for these. Okay, so pump jacks, those are good. What else? This will be chem plants. Wait, this is enabled. Oh, this was a balance thing. Oh, I copied these from my original base. We need to do less than 10 before we change them all. It's faster to just do it that way, to change them first. Okay, chem plants less than. We'll do 100. Actually, let's do. Yeah, let's do 100. And then refineries. I'm assuming refineries are just very heavily inserter limited because that's the only reason I can think of why we would have so many refineries here. Like so many refinery inserters or machines. And yeah, they look very. I guess they're also just very slow. That's part of it. They're inserter limited and just slow in general. So we're slower than 12. We're already slower than producing one for 12 seconds. Cool. Yeah, that tracks. Okay, so that will keep 100 of each of them. And then the internal buffer of the chest will be larger than 100 for each of them. That should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so these go here. Is there any way I can use this original buffer? How many of them actually need to be tier 2? I think most of these do, right? No, I could probably downgrade some of these. I haven't done the math for all of them. These need to be tier 2. These need to be a tier 2. These probably can keep up. No, those don't need to be tier 2 at all. Sticks, I think, do. These ones, honestly, I'm not sure if I'm limited. I have to go look at the inserter distribution. These ones do not. Yeah, none of these do. Yeah, it doesn't matter much, but I mean, if we can make it cheaper, it's always nice. These ones are at least a given. Those ones are good. How many is this? Oh yeah, that's 30 inserters at the end of the run. I think if that ruins me, I think we have other problems. Okay, so we need input, shift this, and then... Okay, I think I see a way we can make this work. We can't put a splitter there. We can't put a splitter there. You can't have an inserter grabbing from a splitter safely for some reason. Well, sometimes you can, but usually not. It's always a fair assumption that you can't do it. Huh. Okay, this'll work. Yeah, okay. Yeah, not as bad as I thought. Okay, so it doesn't matter which goes where. That can go there, and then this can split out of this. Okay. Let's do 150 in each to allow for latency on the belt. The main problem being burner inserters, and the second problem being burner mining drills. Honestly, burner mining drills I feel like are third problem. Wait, I guess any other problem is just a result of burner inserters, so never mind. Yeah, that's probably accurate. And then this only needs to stack like 50. I don't think the belt delay is that high. But it would be, considering there is lag between these turning off and these start. Yeah, considering there is latency, I should probably have some red belt here to reduce it. Because we definitely don't want to completely block the lane. Okay. And yeah, it's cheap enough. Okay, that's good. Now I just need to read from the chests, which is unfortunately not within reach. I will just ignore that. Okay. Read hand size, that's not important. Okay, I think those are good. That'll keep things from backing up and allow me to keep my sushi belt. And look at this. This already serves as a buffer. And we also have the belt buffer. So yeah, we'll be totally fine here. Which side of the belt? This outputs onto the right. I don't think it outputs onto the right anymore, does it? Let's see. I can never remember. No, it does not. Okay. You can even not limit chest if assemblers are limited by circuits. What do you mean by that? Oh, for this? That's true. I guess we don't need a chest limit at all, do we? In my mind, the chest limit was making it that we couldn't completely mess up if like 50 of them were backed up on the belt, but that doesn't really make sense. Because if 50 are backed on the belt, it's going to break anyway. So yeah, we can definitely skip that. Okay. So those seem straightforward. I think I'll have to wrap it up here. Wait, what sounds scary? This? Or having 50 backed up on the belt? I could also limit the input inserters, but honestly, this is mostly fine. If 500 back up on the belt, there might be some bigger problem. Yeah, that's true. If 500 back on the belt, it means we haven't produced an outpost in like an hour. Oh, which reminds me, does anybody know what's the minimum UPS I should go for? Like, is it pretty proportional? Like, if I increase my production by 10%, will I lose 10% UPS? To where they'll kind of cancel themselves out, and my in-game time, my end time probably will be similar. I imagine it's not completely limited, but I feel like as long as I'm above like 50, it should be fine. Yeah, burner inserters can connect to the circuit network. It feels wrong, but they can do it. We use it a couple times. It's not super useful. because like you can't do like circuit stuff to have like sushi science, which is where most of the circuit network would be. And burner inserters are too slow to use sushi. But it's great for like keeping chests from backing up if they all merge into one belt, like we have here. And then we also use it in a lot of places to make sure burners only run if there's fuel on the belt. We don't use it everywhere. We don't use it. We don't use it everywhere because it is a little bit like it would cost too much for performance to put everything on circuits. Let's see. UPS also slows your science unless that's way ahead of your GC. That's true. It would slow science. I think by the time that I'll have UPS problems, science will be largely done, if not completely done. I just have an optional, I can go for one extra tier of mining productivity at the end if I want. If more outpost means more GC per minute of real time, then yes, go more. If means less per minute, stop. Well, that's what I mean. Like, what's the rule of thumb for that? Because it's not like I can just stop and like pull out a calculator and not lose more time than I do on the calculation. I feel like above 50, it's probably reason. It should be pretty proportional. Because the reason that it matters is because once I hit the UPS bottleneck, there's still an hour of stuff that will be happening to decrease my performance. So I really just have to choose a number and then subtract like 5 of it as my UPS goal. Because once we hit the UPS bottleneck, that means we'll still have 3 outposts that haven't started yet, or haven't fully started yet, which means they're not as big of a performance impact yet. They done it like this till they had old CPUs. Yeah, burner inserters invalidate any modern CPU because they're so bad. Yeah, I think Warrior said he used to go to like 50 or 50, like somewhere between 50 and 55. So if I aim for stopping at like 60, I'll probably drop to like 55 by the time the outposts finish. So maybe that should be my goal. Just stop at 60. Although that also depends if my main base is still running. I mean, I guess worst case scenario, I can shut it off. 50 UPS fine, which ends somewhere around 40 to 45. Okay, that could be a good goal. And then once my base stops running, it will go back up. Probably won't go past 60 though. So yeah, I think we can live with that. That would account for my base still running during the last like dread, just to fill up buffer chests. Because honestly, unless I just manually stop my whole base, it's gonna keep running until every buffer chest fills. Which they're not that won't be that long, but it will happen. Honestly, I'll have like 2 hours. I might just spend that time shutting off every chest, limiting every chest. This one we don't need to void yet. But yeah, it's funny that they're limited by the power plant. We're limited by the power plant because we're too lazy to set up like a very messy water system. And also because we don't need more power. But honestly, if we went for like 3 gigawatts of power, we would be limited by the power plant as well. Like that's basically the limit we could get with burner inserters. We're adding more and more chests for green chips in the main best. So the issue with that is chests are really bad. It would be better to just not have my main base produce green chips and do it at an outpost. Because I don't really have a setup to convert most of my base to green chip production. So there's really no reason to have my main base produce green chips. Because it does it in a worse way. Like it's not as good for performance in my main base. And it just would need a lot more chests at the end. Let's see, is there a reason these bases have big gap builds but don't import GC from the outposts? You can't spend green chips fast enough to be worth it. So like for every 5 green chip inserters you'd have, or circuits, for every like 5 green chip assemblers you'd need like 1 blue chip assembler to use it or something, right? 1 or 2. But you don't need that many blue chips. So like you very quickly don't need those green chips. So it's best to just store them at that point. You could possibly import the ones from the first or second outpost. But even then, it's not like you have any reason to expand your base that much after that point. It's like by the time you can afford to make an outpost, you kind of stop needing green chips. It is a 1-to-1 ratio? Okay, so it's only 1-to-2 because of burner inserters, right? I was thinking it was 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 because that's what I have here. Or would have to have here to run them full speed. Howdy, Bet. You can just make one more station for copper and iron, and you don't think how to integrate one special train and make GC and base. Yeah. If you at that point, you might as well just have a train go and grab ore. And then later on, once you get to like, once you have to make like 20 outposts, you can't consume 20 million green chips an hour. Because I think that's roughly the end production. I think they get pretty close to 20 million by the end of their run. I'm hoping to get to 7. I'll be ecstatic if we can get to 7. So our outposting phase is going to be at minimum, like, if we can get to 10, I think 3 hours is possible of outposting. I doubt we can get to 10, because that was ideal test condition, fairly ideal test conditions. 7's a possibility. 5's probably realistic. But anyway, I've just been clicking around because I was about to wrap up. So that's it for me today. See, is anyone live? Probably. It's Saturday. Wait, no, it's not. It's Friday. I don't know days. It feels like a Saturday to me. Yesterday really felt like Friday. But yeah, we're making good progress, I think. The base is doing pretty good. I'm definitely going to start practicing controller stuff this weekend offline. See, GC produces at 2 per second and blue chip costs 20 per 10 second, i.e. 2 per second. Yeah, that tracks. No, the only reason I even thought that is because these produce at half rate. So I'm like, oh, then they must need 2. But that's because these run at half rate. Because burner inserters. A classic. Because burner inserters really is just the motto. See, I don't really recognize people. Why? I can't really see like anything. There we go. The Twitch was giving me like a cookies pop up, and it was taking up the entire screen, so I could see like 4 streams at a time to like scroll through. But yeah, I always forget to raid people. Ooh, Warptorio. That's not an English stream though. Which I guess isn't necessarily a problem. But I can't. Is there anyone streaming in a language I can read? Here. Because I can't even like read the titles. Oh, there's someone. Someone's first playthrough. Let's go say hello to him. They're using... I was hoping maybe they were in the phase where they're still using burner inserters. Interesting. Follower only chat, huh? Never mind. Okay, well, we rated them like 2 days ago. Now I remember why I never rate. Because, like, not many people stream right when I always wrap up streams. So I always spend like 10 seconds or like 5 minutes looking for someone. Yeah, we'll be streaming. We'll be streaming this again tomorrow. We do burner designing Friday, Saturday, and Tuesday. Sundays we're just casually doing space exploration, and then Mondays I do joke runs. I don't know which joke run I'll be doing on Monday. But we definitely have a bunch planned, and I won't be stopping them just because burner's getting close. Okay, well now Twitch just isn't even working for me. Yeah, now it's just not showing me anything. Well, I guess I'll just I'll just end it here. I'll find someone to raid tomorrow. It does not like showing me Factorio streams sometimes. I don't know what's broken. Maybe one of my plugins. But have a wonderful evening, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.